Firing. He's going for Landry down by the end zone. A tumbling catch for a touchdown. He's to the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown.
Welcome back, Survivors, episode 24, season 4. This is Surviving the Season live from the Bay Auto Studio in Tampa, Florida. I am Adam. Greg is here.
Yo, what is up?
What's up?
Not much. Did you go back and watch the game?
We did. Yes.
Did that calm you down at all? How'd that make you feel after the rewatch? Did you get more worried about the Browns for the rest of the season? Are you less worried? Where do you stand at this point?
I got much less worried. One, I didn't think Baker was that bad. He held the ball too long, which makes the offensive line probably look worse. You got to throw out all this. Once Hubbard moved to left tackle, everything past that offensive line-wise is just toss it. Most of the drives were 2nd and 20s, 3rd and 20s, 1st and 25. So they were behind. I don't know. They really shot themselves in the foot.
Just complete self-inflicted breakdown where you hope that gives them something to build upon. Now there's you can sit there and you can, really jump into the game film and break down every little thing that went wrong. Complain about game plan. I mean, that's been a big talking point this week on Twitter. The game plan was terrible. I just don't think you saw the whole game plan. You don't sit at 2nd down and 20 or 3rd down and 20 so as often as they did, and you're continuing to stick with the game plan that you had. Your hand has been forced to pass on those downs.
Right. Yeah.
I saw the comment that this is not the Browns from last year. Yeah, it's not. It's not. We didn't have a good wide receiver core last year. They added one of the NFL's premier wide receivers. Like right now on this team, our best group of guys is with 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and 1 running back. So you're going to put this wide receiver core out there as many times as possible, and you're going to spread the ball out with them. You're going to spread out your formation, and then you're going to run from that. And I saw what I saw from the Browns early on was a different style of attack of what they brought last year, because they were so often they were using multiple tight end sets, multiple running back sets. The roster is different than what it was last year. Mm-hmm. Your best player. Your best group of players is the wide receiver group when it comes to playmakers. You gave away Duke Johnson. Now, if you still had Duke Johnson here, maybe you're using some kind of two back set, or you're running the 3 back set. They didn't do that stuff last year because they go, hey, this is the way that the NFL style of offense is today. Freddie was doing those things out of necessity because their wide receiver core was below average. You Higgins and Landry were your best guys. They're not. Neither one of them is a fast guy. You were lucky to get what you did out of Brashard Perriman late in the season. Antonio Callaway had some good moments, but largely was played as a rookie wide receiver, which is very up and down. It's just unreliable. So last year, Freddie, what was Freddie doing? He was trying to take advantage of the defense in any way possible, giving different looks that the Browns hadn't given up to that point, so they can try. The defense just can't jump all over them and do whatever they want. So we didn't get to see those kind of offensive looks where you're running multiple tight ends. This team can't put multiple tight ends onto the field right now. The tight end group is horrendous.
Higgins being out didn't help at all.
That was it. I didn't realize that early on.
Yeah.
But once, when you brought that up in the afterpod after the game there, that played a big part because Higgins was crucial on that first drive.
Watching the first drive again, you're like, holy shit, we're gonna murder this team.
There seemed to be a point where the Titans sort of took advantage of the Browns. Oh, what's the word? Emotions, I guess.
Yeah, Browns had a lot riding on this game, and the Titans just kind of played it pro. Let the Browns do to themselves what the Titans wanted us to do to ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, but again, if we don't commit the amount of penalties that we do and put ourselves in bad position, I think this is, we're still the better team. I think that we just ultimately shot ourselves in the foot. There was, like I said, there was nothing in that first half that made me worried that oh, this is a different team. I'm watching it and I'm going, man, this stuff should be working. I mean, it was self-inflicted issues, not just from penalties only, but Baker Mayfield missing the throw on 3rd down and 1. Who was that? The Hilliard, where his feet aren't planted. You could say, well, we're sitting down at 2nd down and 1, and they throw it to the tight end who drops the ball. And then we're 3rd down and 1 and we throw again. Well, he's got to run there. Well, yeah, you could sit there and complain about play calls on, especially when it doesn't work all the time. We can sit there and do it. Now, show me the statistics that say on 3rd down and 1, you run 100% of the time. So if Freddie is going to throw 100% of the time, well, that's an issue. But I don't think that's what it comes down to. You're not going to run every single time on 3rd down and 1. It's just not going to happen. So every once in a while you're going to pass. And if they throw an incomplete, you can't go, well, that's a terrible play call at that point. It's what happens. Yeah. Sometimes you don't complete. The play was open. If you go back to the 1 3rd down and 1 I'm talking about, Jarvis Landry's open and Baker misses him, or whoever the outside receiver on that side was, and then ends up throwing the YOLO ball to Landry, which he almost comes down with. But the receiver's wide open. Yeah, that he should have thrown the ball to.
Right. If he gets it out earlier, it's 1st down anyway. Yeah, I got no problem with a 3rd and 1, and then someone gets 1-on-1 on the outside, and we have playmakers. That's what you're paying them for. Throw it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Take your shot. It's 3rd and 1. So what?
So going back, like the line was bad, and I saw other people say, "Well, the line had to hold for 2.5 seconds." This was a stat I saw. Like they were successful block rate for 2.5 seconds or more at a 71%, whatever, right? Throwing out all these numbers. Okay, great. I mean, fantastic. Like for part of the issue why the Browns are having and Baker's having to sit in the pocket so long is because we're trying to pick up 3rd down and 15 so often.
Right. Yeah.
He's not trying to just dump it off. So there wasn't a lot of routes. There wasn't many routes just running underneath. They're trying to pick up 1st downs in this case.
You can't have that many offensive holding calls and then say that the line played well.
That's exactly where I was going next. I go, so people are saying they played well, yet they had 6 combined penalties as an offensive unit. 6. We had 18. That's 33% of the penalties. Okay. There's 22 players on the field, offense and defense. 5 guys play on the offensive line. What's the percentage there? It's less than 33%. So whatever that percentage is, committed 33% of your goddamn penalties, not including the 2 holding on runs by your tight ends who are primary blockers.
Right.
That's an issue.
Yeah, those are all problems. Again, with Hubbard at left tackle and McCray at right tackle and all that movement around, we're not going to see that line most of the time. So, but you know what? Other teams have injuries too.
The Titans were missing their star left tackle. They came out and did just fine with that.
I really liked watching what they did against Garrett and Vernon in the middle of the offensive line. The way that Garrett would get by the one guy and just immediately run into another one, and then sometimes a third. It would really, I mean, yeah, it makes for a less efficient offense, but watching how they held the Browns' defensive line as much as they did was really well game planned. That's not going to work if they're down, but once the Browns sort of couldn't get it together and the Titans got up, that was all she wrote. Titans didn't need to do anything except max protect.
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job in that respect. The Browns want this one back, though. I mean, this is one that they let get away, and that's why these are the most frustrating games when you're a fan. It's one thing if we go out there and everybody plays their ass off, both sides, and it's a good game. We get beat by a field goal at the end. Like, all right, well, we played a good game. This one, you legitimately played the worst possible game you could have played. And it's all on you. It's not because of what your opponent did. It's because of what you did. And if there's anything that these guys can take away, it's that, hey, we have to come out and play proper football. We can't overlook anybody. We can't go, well, we have the more talent, therefore we just automatically get gifted this win. No, you got to come out there, play the right way, play within the rules. And every single week is a battle. Everybody wants a piece of you, and you have to embrace that.
Yeah. Do you take any stock with the, these guys got to play in preseason? I mean, if OBJ was dealing with a hip injury for real, then you don't put him in there. But should Baker probably have had more work? Should some of the starters played a little longer?
Well, when you're a young guy, I like to see a young guy, especially in his second year, get a good amount of work. Could he got an extra quarter or two? Sure. Does it really ultimately matter that much? Not really. I didn't see any, OBJ didn't play any in the preseason. Landry didn't play any in the preseason. I didn't see any ill effects into their game. They look just fine to me. You put the ball in their zip code, then they were catching it.
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't seem to be much of a problem. I just think it comes down to you made too many mistakes. You just got behind the sticks too often. And that's really it. I don't think there's much more of what you can possibly say. Now, we can go through and break down some other issues that happen defensively. There, they played a halfway decent game. There's issues there in the secondary. I saw a lot of issues show up on tape.
Yeah, Demarius Randall did not have.
Thank you. That was right what I was going to go to. Yeah, it was ugly. The one play that we talked about is Ward, and it looked to me at first glance during the game, AJ Brown was a play action pass. AJ Brown looked to push off at the top of his route. When I went back and watched it from the all 22, you can see behind. That's not the case. He did not push off at all. The problem is Ward is expecting help in the middle of the field over top of his head. And he's playing the outside leverage. He's expecting Demarius Randall to be there. And Demarius Randall not only isn't there, but he completely gets turned around and fooled. Yeah. And that one was 100% on him. After going back and watching that needs to be a ball that if he doesn't break up, he's intercepting.
Yeah, that was an ugly one. There was the long screen pass to Henry seemed like some bad angles there. You talked about.
Yeah, I sent you the message. Greedy Williams was the one that blew that one, and you can't go. Well, I mean, Mitchell didn't play a great game by any means either. Okay, that's an issue. That right now, that corner spot is an issue. If we're going to be playing that kind of defense where you have to rely on these guys going 1-on-1, Greedy needs to learn that you have to take away you have to take away the outside and force the guy to turn back inside. Greedy takes a terrible angle, doesn't even get into the play at all. You don't even need him to make the tackle. You need him to force Henry to turn back into the inside of the field so somebody else can make the tackle. Just completely and that's how you stop those things. Like, it's not usually that guy back there who's also taking on a blocker. It's going to make the play. He's the one that you're playing safety at this point, Greedy. That was a piss poor job, and he played it like a rookie, basically.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see a few more of those this year.
Well, not if you want to compete. You can't have that. That's the one thing Mitchell does well. Now, Mitchell had a couple lapses in coverage, but Mitchell comes up and hits, and he'll tackle. So if it comes down to who do you play right now, you got to have the guy that's making sure that he's doing enough that he's not completely. You can't give up 75-yard screens. You have to. It doesn't. If it goes for 50, it's fine. You can't score on it. I mean, right. It's not fine, but you have to. You at least have to make a play, right? And Greedy ultimately blew that one.
Well, we can give up, and we can even give up 3 points. In the drive.
Right.
And it just was so deflating that we got the score, and then they, on the next play, get it back. You're like, oh,
yep,
fuck.
Yep. And that screen looked to be there. There was an earlier in the game where Whitehead is out there defending it, and pressure gets up the middle. This might even been in the first or second series. Same look where everything looks like it's going to the right, and then Mariota turns around, throws back to the left. It's Lewis this time instead of Henry who's going out in the pass, and Mariota is taking so much pressure right off the bat that he just overthrows him. Mm-hmm. But if he completes it, Lewis could still be running to this day. I mean, there's nobody there to defend it. The one guy, Whitehead, is completely getting blown up by a blocker. So that wasn't that screenplay just didn't come out of the blue. The Titans knew that was going to work.
Yeah, they put that one in the pocket. They go, well, we'll come back to this when we need it, when we need a score. And right after the Browns score, they're like, hey, run that play again. Because they're going to over-pursue to the right side. We're going to come back, throw it to the left.
Yep.
And you're going to go in untouched. Yeah. That's when coaching all comes together, and they're just sitting up there, just going, "This is exactly why we do this job."
Yeah, yeah, and you can complain about some more little things that happen in the game. There's a couple times where, and this is something that's haunted Christian Kirksey, where his gap integrity is not always there. He tends to start going over into other people's gaps and over pursuing. Drives me nuts, man. That's where Belichick would be going, do your job, right? Isn't that what he always says? Do your job. Don't be going over here trying to cover up for the nose tackle or for the defensive tackle. Don't try to cover up for Joe Schobert. You do your job. Let Joe do his. Let Ogunjobi do his. And then this all should work out properly.
Yeah.
But, he looked better, but there was times where he just gets too antsy at times.
Mm-hmm. Trust your teammates a little bit. Be a little bit more patient.
After watching this game, I said 12-4, and I was probably being a homer. I will change to 11-5. This is not one of the games I expected us to lose this last week. So, but I'm still totally confident in this team, because what I saw on tape is not from a schematics issue with the coaching. It looked like we were in good plays. We had good ideas of what we were doing. It just comes down to the players screwed this thing up. Freddie's not going to say that. Freddie's not going to come out and be like, well, the players don't get 18 penalties. We're in this thing. I did my job. But for the most part, Freddie did do his job. It looked like we had good plays to be run. It looked like there was guys wide open in certain situations. There's times where Baker could have taken a shot where he might have been getting a little pressure. There's also times where Baker runs out of clean pockets.
Mm-hmm.
These are player issues that this stuff comes down to. Outside, Nick Chubb had a couple nice blocking assignments, but the other two, oh my goodness, the other two running backs. This is where you're going to miss Duke Johnson. The other two running backs are horrendous, and they did out of 50 pass blocking situations. They only asked the running backs to pass block 9 times. I thought that was low, and it's most likely due to the fact that none of them can really block.
Yeah. When did Hilliard actually go out with the concussion?
So remember, this was after that one punt. We had scored. I believe this was either right after halftime when we scored our the Njoku touchdown.
Okay.
Because it was on the kickoff, and he goes to make the tackle, and that's what you can tell. He gets up and he almost falls over. So that's when he had the concussion there.
Okay. Because then the Ernest Johnson was in, and
Yep.
then he had a couple assignments, and I know he had a bad blown one there at the end. But
man, that is the one risk that you have. This is the unknown stuff. It's like, okay, it's fine if that's what you want to do. It's fine that you get rid of Kevin Zeitler if you know Corbett's going to be able to do the job. It's fine if you want to get rid of Duke Johnson if you know Hilliard's going to be able to do the job.
yeah,
I don't know if that's the case so far.
someone's got to step up.
Yep.
If, like we said, if there's anything silver lining, it happened early in the season, and I'd put that up on the chalkboard before every game. 43-13. I'd just write it up there. Nobody needs to say shit. Just remember, we thought this was going to be a cakewalk. Everybody had us as W's. We were favored by 6 or 5.5, whatever. I just put that up there and go, yeah. Remember we lost by 30 in the home opener? Yeah, remember it. And you really don't have to say much. The players know what happened there.
Right. All right. We're going to have to do a quick preview because I have 12 minutes.
Okay. Cleveland Browns 0-1. Monday night, 8:15 Eastern, traveled to New York to play the Jets, also 0-1. They lost to the Bills in week 1. Browns are 6-point road favorites. This line is probably down right now because about an hour ago, Sam Darnold has been listed as out.
Scared.
Maybe
the Jets were scared. Do you remember when it was Deshaun? It was Pro Football Talk. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this really reminds me. Pro Football Talk. We were playing the Texans the year Deshaun Kaiser was our quarterback, and Kaiser got injured. So we started. Kaiser got pulled by Hugh Jackson, and we started. What's his name? Who came in for the injured Kaiser and actually played like a good quarter?
Yeah, Hogan, right?
Kevin Hogan, right? So we're going to start Kevin Hogan. And Pro Football Talk puts out a fucking article that said the Browns sitting Deshaun Kaiser because they're afraid of the Deshaun versus Deshaun matchup. Do you recall that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, as soon as you brought it up, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's exactly what the Browns were doing." Because Hugh Jackson,
oh my God,
initially said,
and then
he wanted
I commented
Watson.
back. This is the fake news of NFL Twitter. The fake news.
God, they're the worst.
Yeah, just complete bullshit. No, Deshaun Kaiser wasn't playing because Deshaun Kaiser is terrible quarterback. That's why, and we literally had no quarterback on the roster. Yeah. So the Jets sitting Sam because they don't want to see the Baker versus Sam matchup. I get it. We'll say it's mono. Whatever you need to do, Jets, to save face.
Well, we definitely know Sam Darnold probably is literally 21 or whatever, because I don't think anyone over. Aren't you supposed to get mono when you're like 15?
I think so.
I've heard an adult getting mono, but anyway, Darnold he could miss a few weeks here. I guess he's lost a bunch of weight. This is kind of big news here for the Jets with this illness.
He looked pretty terrible last week.
Yeah, I wonder if that had something to do with it. They said he was his weight was down and he's all fatigued and shit. They thought he had strep throat on Monday, and now it turned into this, which is kind of not a joke.
Wouldn't it be crazy if he just finally hit puberty?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, he's going to come out with a full beard next game, like, because
he was very nervous. He was getting peach fuzz on his. Forget it.
So Darnold's out. I think Quinnen Williams is out. Their defensive
really?
tackle. Yeah, he was injured.
I didn't know that.
Mosley's questionable. Le'Veon Bell's questionable.
Yeah, Lev Bell looked pretty good. I got a chance to go watch the game. It was an interesting game. They played the Bills, and they were winning 16-0. 7 minutes left in the third quarter. They're up 16-0, and so you might look at that and you might go, "Man, the Jets got a nice defense, right?" No. This has nothing to do with defense. This has everything to do with Josh Allen being quarterback. I believe he had 2 fumbles that he lost. He threw 2 picks. I mean, they were moving the ball. And at times, Josh Allen looks like he could be a real quarterback. There are times where he makes a throw and you go, that is fantastic throw. And then he throws the next 3 behind the receiver by 5 foot or in the dirt, and then he fumbles. Like, they were driving. I think they were even early on their first possession. They were in the red zone. I believe he fumbled opening drive. Just terrible. Just gifting the ball back to the Jets. At one point, he threw such a terrible pass to Cole Beasley, bounced off of him, gets picked off, run in for a touchdown. But on the other side, like, Darnold didn't look any better. So when they say Darnold's out, and they're like, well, finally, this is an easy victory. Darnold is not. Have you seen Darnold do anything that makes him look like a quarterback that you'd be afraid to match up against?
No, not really. 28 of 41, 175 yards. It's a 4.3 yard average per.
Jesus. He's missing guys wide open. I mean, he is missing dudes wide open. There's a couple plays, Robbie Anderson, who's a nice little receiver, if he could ever, like, he's got a nice burst to him. And they're not loaded with receivers here by any means. I mean, this is they're lacking a star, but Darnold isn't doing anything.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell was the only guy really making plays, and they're missing their tight end, who's actually somewhat good. Chris Herndon, he's out. He might become. Is he back this week? Because I thought he only had a 1, or does he have a 4-game suspension?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I think he might still be out.
Anunwa is out for the season,
and he had, last time we played the Jets, and Anunwa had like 100 yards.
Yeah, he didn't do anything in his last game. I think he got another neck injury, so this one could
bad
be
luck for him, man.
Career-threatening second one. Jamison Crowder had 14 receptions on 17 targets, 99 yards. So whoever was covering him had a busy day. And I imagine
they're all screens.
They're going to be looking at him this week again.
The Bills have a good defense. They really do. They get after it. They get some pressure. I just don't see this being an offense that's going to like overpower the Browns by any means. And then, you're bringing in Trevor Siemian now is going to be the starter, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I don't really think he's that far away from Darnold, because I don't really think, for all the shit that Knucklehead gives Baker Mayfield, Colin, whatever, Cowherd, you have to remember his guy is Sam Darnold, who's been he hasn't even played anywhere near up to where Baker's played. And this is the guy he's saying, well, the Browns missed because they didn't take Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's been crap. Yeah. And now he's starting puberty at age 21 finally. I mean, come on.
Yikes.
I don't know. I'm just not worried about the offensive line is patchwork. This should be, our defensive line should be able to feast rather easily. When you get over to the defensive side of the ball, it's Greg Williams' defense, man.
Yeah.
Tight ends, slot players, screen passes, they work. Like I said, the Bills were moving the ball, and actually they had some chunk runs in there. I don't see any reason why Nick Chubb can't have another solid game, but they were moving the ball at will. And the only thing that slowed them down was that their quarterback's terrible. Our quarterback's not terrible. This is an easy win game. What's the spread on this fucker?
Well, as I said, it's 6, but that's probably before the Darnold. This game's probably off the board right now until they figure out who's playing, because the Jets have so many people questionable. Demaryius Thomas, questionable. Bell, questionable. Jamal Adams, questionable. I think Adams is going to play, though.
They just traded for Demaryius Thomas, so he wouldn't be ready to play anyways, I don't think.
Well, by next Monday, if you got nobody.
Maybe. Okay, yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Nathan Shepard caught a suspension. My guy, Nathan Shepard, 27-year-old. Out of
PED said he was hurt and wanted to get back. Legalize it.
Get it, son. Go get
Legalize it, yeah. Who sang that song?
I don't know.
I think they were talking about steroids, not weed, right?
Yeah, get them Mexican supplements.
That's right.
Juice up. I believe Luke
I'm for him.
Falk is the backup to Simeon, so that could be fun if we get to see him in there somewhere.
Who?
Luke Falk.
Oh, man. Get ready for the slowest 20-yard pass you've ever seen in your life. No arm on that guy. Bring his ass in there. I'm just looking forward to facing Greg Williams, man.
Yeah, it could be fun.
Probably be bringing the house, though. Is our offensive line going to be? How does our offensive line respond to Greg Williams' pressure?
True, because he's going to bring it.
He's going to bring the house.
Yeah. They asked Demarius Randall asked him about Greg Williams' defense, and he just said, "Next question, please," and moved on. He didn't want to answer nothing about it. Is the Browns in like a no-win situation here, where if they win, everyone goes, "Well, the Jets, everyone's hurt," and if they lose, then the Browns it's over.
Cowherd on Tuesday morning. Well, it's because Sam Darnold. And this one you should have won, Browns.
Yeah. This game is all about the Browns. The Browns win this game if they go play their game. And if they do what they did in week 1, they're going to lose.
Yeah. Well, so what you just said is why we think the Browns are an above average team, a good team. If you play, but it comes down to that. If you play your game, right?
Yep.
If you play the way that you're capable of, you have the talent to beat most teams in the league. Last week, they didn't play their game. Do you think there's any chance in hell that this team doesn't have what it takes, doesn't have the leadership in place, or Freddie's not the coach to get these guys to go, hey, what happened last week is unacceptable, and then they don't come out and play their best game this week? I'd be shocked if we don't see the best Browns this week.
Yeah, this one.
Because now they got something to prove. They got everybody hating on them, everybody laughing at them. And now they have something to prove.
Yep, I agree. There's probably some other things we can cover. I know you got to get going. Why don't we wrap it up here?
Anything else real quick? Unfortunately, I have to go pick up the kid. We were on a time crunch today.
Yeah, a fan had poured some beer on Logan Ryan. The Browns banned the wrong person who was not even at the stadium. I guess they're going to have to find out who that guy is. Obviously, a lot of people talking about OBJ's watch.
Yeah.
I don't care about the watch, but if you care about people caring, don't wear the fucking watch.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay?
Seems like an odd thing to do.
Yes.
Because I don't know but see, a lot of times guys won't put stuff on their arms like that because they're afraid they'll fumble.
Yeah.
You want to have, I don't know, who knows what, maybe it's made out of some kind of sticky shit. Don't ask me. I don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah. I mean, if he thinks that no one's going to ask about it, he's completely 100% mistaken. I mean,
are we positive he's not doing a commercial?
Well, yeah, it's probably a commercial. I mean, let's be honest. If I wanted to sell watches, I would give him a watch to wear on game day because everyone's going to ask him about it.
I watched the whole game 3 times. Never saw it one time.
No, me neither.
How did anybody see it? Who's looking for that shit?
Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, but yes, if he's actually upset about people being upset about him wearing a watch, that seems strange. What do you? Of course, people, no matter what, You're never going to make everybody happy. If I was Odell, I said this before, just who cares what anybody thinks?
If everybody's
does it
wearing
matter?
orange and you come out in your white jersey, everyone's going to go, why is Odell wearing white? And then he's going to go, why do you guys care what I'm wearing? Well, everyone's
Yeah, but
confused.
what if
no one's
Tom
ever
Brady,
saw
I thought I
anyone
did hear
wear a
Bill. Well, what if
watch
Tom Brady,
before.
what if Tom Brady just comes out in a wife beater only? Huh? What then? Would he get fined? Probably not. It's
No,
like, well,
nobody-
yeah.
Nobody would ask.
Of course he
Nobody's
would.
that. He's a quarterback. He's a star. Nobody would even ask him about it.
Yeah, like nobody even noticed. They get after the game. They're like, wait, Tom had wear a wife beater that whole game? I didn't even know. It's Tom Brady. I don't question anything he does.
Yeah. But I saw that watch on OBJ. That guy wants attention.
I had no idea.
I guess that's it. Condolences to Chris Smith. Terrible
Oh,
accident,
terrible. Good
on
Lord.
the freeway. His
Oh,
girlfriend was killed.
I couldn't imagine, man.
A new mother. So condolences from the crew here.
That's terrible. I feel so sorry for him. What do you do? What do you do if you're him? Because I have 3 kids, and I mean, if I wouldn't know what the fuck to do. You know what I mean? Like we're lost. I mean, I do everything, but at the same point, like you're just lost on your own.
Right. Yeah.
He's lost. I mean, this is where family comes in. You know, you have to have a strong family around you. That's rough. Terrible.
Yeah. So hopefully, they find some peace here. I think that's about it. We can get you out of here.
Yep. Sorry. Have to cut it a little early today. We'll be back after the game though. Tuesday
Yeah.
morning, Tuesday afternoon, most likely.
Yeah, and then we got something else to talk about on Sunday too after the game.
Game's Monday.
especially if we win. Oh, Monday. We probably won't be back Monday. We'll be back Tuesday, right? Is that what you just said?
That's right. Yep. Exactly what I said.
Okay. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll be back Tuesday. What is our Twitter?
You can hit us on Twitter at STS Podcast, and our email is
Survivingtheseason at gmail.com, patreon.com/STS Podcast if you want to support the show. Thank you, everybody. Sorry about the buzzing in the last show and probably in this show. I try to clean that audio up for you so you get the best experience. But thanks to our Patreon, we have a new mixer on the way. So
boom. See what
next
happens when you
Tuesday,
support the show?
Gonna sound
Our
awesome.
equipment stays up to date.
Yep. Yeah, so dope there. Appreciate that, guys. Greg, tell them what we say.
Keep on surviving.